made a terrible mistake by I assumed you had seen this show before when I asked you to go to it, because that's usually the case when we go to something like this. You're like, we went to go see the My Hero Academia movie, and you knew what to talk about in the review. I'm sitting here like, I don't know, the boy liked it, I took him to go see the movie.
I think that's also how you felt when we saw Warcraft, too.
I think so, yeah. Except I could follow Warcraft just fine. Usually when we go see something like this, it's always like, within the first 5 minutes, oh, the sun cried lemonade onto a tree and it turned into a frog who's now a DJ. Like, whoa, this is throwing a lot at me. So I didn't know until earlier, like when you texted me and said, I've actually not seen this show before. I was surprised. I was really surprised. I was like, oh, we are both going in cold on this.
Right, yeah. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even sure what Demon Slayer was until, like, the other night I'm watching Adult Swim and on comes a promo for Toonami, and they're like, here's the shows coming up this week.
And then, this is Demon Slayer?
Right.
I thought we were going to see a sweet metal band documentary from some band from the 80s.
This is
Rob
Demon
knows
Slayer.
what it is. Me, Doug, and Rob watched Mortal Kombat last night. He knew what it was. I was like, yeah, I think... No. He's like... He said something like, yeah, usually tonight's when I'm watching anime or something, we'd probably watch Demon Slayer or something like that. And I looked and went, I think that's the movie I'm seeing tomorrow. He's like, is it? He's like, oh, it's a pretty good show. I'm like, oh, okay, this is my first time hearing about it. Did you follow this movie just fine?
Enough. Yeah. Like, up until the part with the crow, I was like, I don't know who these people are.
I mean... But anyway, long story short, we shouldn't be reviewing this. Right. We have no business being here. We have no business being here reviewing this movie. It was actually kind of crowded in there in the lobby because it's playing on a lot of different show times. When I went to get tickets earlier, the time we were originally going to go see it, the only seats left were in the front row, which, thank God, we didn't do that. I was following it enough. I agree with you. I do. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I got this. There's a train. There's demons on it. There's a man boar. There's a guy who's got some fire around him and shit. Everyone seems fine with the man boar. They're not weirded out by him. They introduce him to the fire guy, and he's like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm like, okay, I guess this is normal. He's got a boar's head. All right, well, that's fine. I got this. There's demons on this train. They got to fight the demons. They start jumping into each other's subconsciouses a lot. One thing leads to another. The man boar is now with, I think, a chipmunk girl. And the train engine is now a centipede and is fast asleep. But it's a dream, so I'm like, weird stuff happens in dreams. This might be what I dream about tonight. So as weird as it is to describe, I was like, I'm following this enough. They're gonna fight a lot of demons. It's gonna get very bloody. All right, I got it. It's good. That's
nailed it.
That's the movie. Yeah, that is now the IMDb summary of it. Man boar fights demons with a fire guy, and there's a lot of screaming. Boy, is there a lot of screaming
and
in this.
Crying.
There's a lot of crying too. I thought, all right, I'm not gonna say what happens at the end of this, but for a split second, like I could see out of the corner of my eye. I think you might have been rubbing your nose or something like that, or maybe you had an itch or something. For a split second, I was like, is he crying?
Oh, no. No.
I'm going to stand up in this theater and be like, look at this guy. I don't know him.
I will go ahead and publicly admit that Rhea got me close to crying.
Did it?
Rhea got me close to crying. This, nah.
That was just because you thought Aquafina's jokes were really funny. Like, oh my God. I think I did hear some crying in this movie. I don't know. And then mixed in with something someone else in the theater said on my way out, but I'll get into that later on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. See, I made a beeline for the bathroom after the credits rolled because my back teeth were floating.
Yeah, man, I did too, man, because this movie's kind of long. It's too long. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
An hour and a half?
No, it's like 2 hours.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe it just felt long to me.
Because I was going to say, like, I looked at my watch. It was 9 o'clock, and I assumed the movie started about 7:30. So
no, it started. Oh, yeah, trailers and everything. No, it clocked in about an hour and 55 minutes or something like that. And the first part of it, where the whole movie's taking place on a train, except for like the dream stuff. So in the first part, with our characters, man, there was so much yelling and screaming and just zoom in on you. Someone would say something perfectly normal and then just like close-up screaming of another character. I take the train a lot, and I felt like there was a couple kids just running around on a train, and I just want to tell the movie, like, will you get control of your damn kids? I'm that old guy watching this movie. It's like someone's on this train where it feels like our main character snuck into the cafe car and ate all of the M&Ms and are just running rampant throughout this train, yelling at each other and scream like I'm saying inside voices, please.
Ma'am, could you please control your children, please?
During that,
trying to enjoy my train ride.
I'm trying to sleep in this movie in the theater that I'm sitting. I'm finding it very hard between the screaming and the fact that it's regular seats and not recliners. So my leg's fidgeting at the end of this movie. And so when it was a lot of that humor at the beginning of it, I was thinking like, oh, is this like a kids show or something? And then it gets wildly gory. Right. So you'll have humor and lines that are like out of a children's show for like small children.
Yeah.
But then it gets gorier than Mortal Kombat.
Right. Then they start decapitating people.
And arms and demons, getting their heads cut off and their arms split like it's a Saw film.
Right.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, you're gonna get I don't know if the show is like this. If it's not, you're in for a wild surprise. They went the full R on this.
I've seen enough advertisements for this show to where I recognized Boar-Headed Guy.
Oh, yeah. His name is Man-Boar?
No.
Well, it's not Boar-Headed Guy either.
No,
I'm not sure what it is.
So you're okay. I see what you're doing here. Okay, sorry, Man-Boar.
It's Man-Boar.
Sorry,
good sir. I've already established my fake names for this. Man-Boar, Thomas the Tank Engine, who's now a spider, and Fire Guy.
Fire Guy.
Some of the because we went to go see the dubbed version of this.
Yeah.
And some of the audio was kind of weird. Like some of the
Yeah.
Right. Some of it sounded like it was recorded off a speakerphone.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's the movie or if it's like, was there something wrong with the projector or the speakers in the theater? Or if maybe the show is like this. I don't know.
I mean, maybe they had to literally phone it in because of COVID.
I would think they would have recorded the lines earlier than that, but I don't know. I don't know how quickly this movie was made. Maybe we've got limitations because of COVID. We got to put it all on a train. It's one location.
And all the characters have to be wearing masks and socially distancing.
Yeah, that's why they put the boar's head on him. Normally, he doesn't look like that. But they knew if they did this, they wouldn't have to animate the lip syncing. I got it. Put an animal's head on him. It'll make sense. People are used to random shit like this in these movies. I liked his voice acting because his voice sounded like a toy commercial where it's like that's not what the character sounds like, but you see a toy commercial where the little kid is giving his toys his own voice, like the old G.I. Joe commercials. It's like, I will get on this train. Yeah, go Joe. You know, shoot that guy's head off.
You know what's great about this is that I can't wait to see the comments. I can't wait to see the comments.
You guys
now.
are asses. You don't understand any of this.
You guys need to educate yourselves on Demon Slayers.
If it's anything like when we reviewed My Hero Academia, I think a lot of them like that I go into these like
did
someone's like going into like someone's parent who's stuck babysitting and watching. I don't know. I mean, they're on a train and then I got CGI purple worms showing up. Like, just took over this whole train.
Literally.
Yeah, I think the engine might be alive. I don't know. It's like Snakes on a Train, the knockoff version, where at the end of Snakes on a Train.
Because like, I got a huge Nightmare on Elm Street 4 vibe from this.
Did Freddy turn into a train in that? I don't remember that part. What part?
Dream
of it?
Warriors?
No, that's 3.
3 then. Oops. Sorry.
That's the train one.
Okay. 3, 4, I don't know.
When he was the worm.
I was close. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
At the end of Snakes on a Train, where just a giant snake ate the whole train. Whoa, crazy. I don't know how to give a grade for something like this.
I mean, obviously, go see it if you're a fan of this movie or a fan of this franchise. Yeah, I mean, it. Outside of that, I guess you could still go see it. I mean, it's like I wasn't bored. I wasn't. This is. I guess I would say, even outside of this franchise, you're still introduced to these characters. You're still introduced to the fire guy.
Yeah.
And really, for the movie standalone, that's all you need. That's all you need. I'd say a B-.
Yeah. I don't. If you don't watch a lot of things like this, I wouldn't recommend going into this cold. Like, maybe if you see other shows that you could maybe compare to this and then you go see this, that's one thing. But if you don't even watch a lot of anime in this particular genre, I don't know how much you'll get out of this just blindly going into it. In fact, I think there were a couple of walkouts about 30 minutes into the movie.
Was there?
There was a couple of people who walked out who didn't come back.
Oh, wow.
I
didn't even notice.
Maybe they thought it was going to be a rock documentary, and it took them 30 minutes to figure out. I don't think my favorite band, Demon Slayer, is going to show up. But it's hard for me to give a grade for a movie like this because nothing made me want to watch the show, really.
Right.
Because there was nothing that, like, elevated it to the point to where I'm really enjoying this having not seen the show. There was nothing that really did that for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're a huge fan of it, maybe this gives you everything you want out of it. Maybe, you know, and you're seeing this movie version on the big screen. Maybe this is a perfectly good movie version of that show.
Yeah.
So I'm also giving it a B- just because I don't want to give it anything negative, because for all I know, this is a perfect representation of what this show is,
right,
what the fans are going to want out of it.
Right. Yeah.
But it didn't go beyond that for me to where I'm like, oh, I'm loving this, even though I know nothing about it. It didn't do that for me. But on the way out, there was some girl that was behind me on the way out who just went, I am pissed. I am pissed.
Like, why? Did she say?
I should have asked. I was just like, what? What's wrong? My son of a bitch boyfriend just ate all my M&Ms. Oh. Okay. Bro, why'd you do that? Just get some popcorn. Sneak in your own food. Don't eat her M&Ms, man. Fuck. he had to eat them quick because the characters in the movie already did. Whoa! Oh my god.
Flashlight.
So I think she was talking about the movie. Maybe she didn't like the climax or something that happens at the end of the film. Yeah, honestly, though, there were a couple of characters that I did recognize from conventions.
Oh.
I'm like, seen that. Okay, all right. Which is usually the case when I go to one of these.
Right.
Like, oh, I sold the DVD to that guy. I think his name is Bob.
Boar-headed guy, you know, or man-boar.
Man-boar.
Man-boar is Bob, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm also giving it a B-. I take it that means you liked it better than In the Earth.
Yes.
Did you see the poll that I put up? What
Yeah. What's the
Did you? Let's see. Let me look it up. I put up. Oh, okay. So if you haven't seen our review last week for In the Earth, do it because it's. Although after this video, I don't know, but last week it was the funniest review we've done this year. This one,
maybe a close second.
Yeah. So we disagreed heavily on it. I really liked it, and you gave it an F. I gave it like a B+, I think. So I put up a poll over on our channel. So subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/StoneGremlinProductions, or just click on the little subscribe icon. That'll be easier than just typing that out. So I did where do you fall on our great In the Earth debate over in our community section. Team Brad got 7%. Team Jerrid got 2%. Didn't see it, so Team Lloyd got 92%.
You want to know what's funny though?
Yeah.
A couple days ago, I actually voted. I voted for myself, of course, and and I went ahead and read the comments. So many people said I saw it and I liked it, or I saw it and I didn't like it, but they still voted Team Lloyd. They were just they were just like, how can you not be Team Lloyd?
Yeah. I'm like, well, it was fine, but the cat's on the pole. I noticed that too. Well, Lloyd always wins when you put him on the pole by a landslide.
Right, yeah.
92%. We were like third-party candidates in our own poll. All right, so that's Demon Slayer, the movie. Money Train? What was it called? Mugen Train?
Money Train. Dream Warriors.
Yeah, Snakes on a Train. The Snakes on a Train edition.
Snakes on a Train.
I don't know what's coming out next week, but subscribe to it. Click the subscribe button. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you thought of this movie, if you're a fan of this show, or if this movie worked for you. Let us know in the comments, and thanks a bunch for watching.